We heard so much. We heard that it was good, like it was good for the economy, but it was terrible for the environment.
You know, disgusting, dirty, big trucks, you know, we heard all this and we don't know what to believe. Like, is it good, is it bad? Like, we wanted to see for ourselves and not, judge by a book by its cover.
So the only way to go was to go there ourselves.
Yeah, and that's what we did. Shiz, dude.
Yeah.
It's just good. Yeah, chit. Here we are at beautiful Fort McMurray.
While I lived here, I did not feel like I lived in Canada. Okay, we're off to the country of Fort McMurray just to, get some more money and then go back to Canada and live our lives. It's a whole new world up here. You got to get used to it. What used to be a small community and people respecting things just became this giant, huge place just full of people swarming in from everywhere, all around the world, and just using it as their dumping grounds. And there's a lot of people here that grew up here that don't like how things have turned out and how nobody respects the place.
We had a chance to meet Dr. John O'Connor, a doctor who has had many patients in Fort Chipewyan, downstream from the tar sands. We asked him about his thoughts on the tar sands development.
One thing that's become very obvious, Liam, is that the government and industry in this province is extremely very, very close. As an example, I think 4 years ago, the Alberta government appointed a lady called Heather Kennedy. She's the vice president of one of the VPs at Suncor, appointed her as the assistant deputy minister for the oil sands. The industry have also been told that they are responsible for reclaiming the land. The land will never be reclaimed. It might be changed back to look somewhat like it is, but it won't be. And the estimated cost a few years ago was, I think, 18 billion.
It has such an enormous impact on the landscape itself. There are even parts that you can see from the highway that just go on and on that have been completely leveled out.
Andrew Nikiforuk, a journalist and author, was generous enough to give us some of his time. We asked him why development of the tar sands continues to expand so enormously if the cost is so high.
Most oil companies want to remain oil companies, so if they want to remain oil companies, they have to develop resources as complicated, extreme, and difficult as bitumen. So for the oil companies, it's just a matter of, geez, we want to stay in business. For the government of Alberta, it's they don't have any other plans or ideas about what to do unless they develop bitumen. That's the whole basis for the government at this point in time, is to be a representative for the oil sands industry. It's all about the money, and it's all about enriching, certain corporations and certain governments.
And how much were you saying they make a year?
They have $25 billion in revenue a year.
let's say round it out to 30 billion a year, that would be about $1,000 a second.
Something along those lines. I'm not good enough math to figure that out.
The numbers are just mind-boggling.
Yeah.
They talked about all the sustainable issues that they're doing for that specific area, but I don't know whether they realize how much more they're affecting than just that tiny area of land.
How many trucks are there? Like they're using so much stuff.
Also, it's become obvious that if government tries to change anything, they've talked about, you know, changing the process of mining in the tar sands and stuff like changing the royalty rates, and industry immediately objects. The tail is wagging the dog. Industry is definitely calling the shots.
But right now, it just makes me angry to think about like how much we're screwing ourselves over. We're just
Yeah, for sure.
And there was one example they were saving the toads or something like that, but like.
Oh yeah, but they boosted the population is like what? It was like triple.
They're cleaning up the mess nature left behind, which is like.
So it's pretty much removing the mess, right?
Yeah,
cleaning up the mess, removing
putting
the
it
mess,
from the ground into the air,
expanding.
putting it from the ground into the air,
into the air and into our lungs. It's good.
Yeah, it's way better.
But the toads are triple, don't worry.
Oh yeah, the toads are good.
The toads are fine.
People understand now that the implications of the environmental impact that could be felt, you know, beyond our shores. It emphasises our responsibility to look after our fellow man.
The pace and the scale of the project are the really big issues, and you won't be able to address the environmental, political, or economic fallout from this project unless you slow it down.
But would you shut the tar sands down?
No, I wouldn't.
Why
because
not?
right now, there's so much dependent on it. Like everybody's driving vehicles, and you can't just shut it down.
We need to find a new source of energy.
Fast. We need to work together.
Yeah, we need to get off our addiction and start finding a sustainable, renewable approach.
And everyone needs to face the fact that we're destroying this world and we need to act fast.
It's possible to change. If you look at Norway, they're starting to convert their economy they're using their oil resources that they have to convert to a green, sustainable energy.
Yeah, we need to follow their lead for sure.
The industry and government want to build a new pipeline. They say it'll go through seismic earthquake zones, migratory bird habitat, and a water reservoir. It's going to have catastrophic environmental impacts. The Keystone XL pipeline is a perfect example of how we're increasing our dependence on oil with disastrous consequences.
It's our generation that can make the change. We don't need to keep going down this narrow path. Do we want to be known as the generation that just, you know, picked up the problem, made it worse, and just passed it back down to the generation after, hoping that they'd be the people that were gonna fix it all? Or do we want to be known as the generation that took the problem, worked together, and fixed it?
I think if we fix it and we change it, then we can look back on ourselves and be like, holy, we did it.
We all live on this earth, so we should all be doing our part to save it, right?
Dude, guess what? Woo!